Hi, welcome to Tested by Pixel Movers again. I'm going to be testing today, going back to testing some graphics tablet monitor. So Wacom alternative to those who don't have the budget for a Wacom, who are looking for something that performs pretty much as well as a Wacom. And we're going to get into that and just have a look at this new one today from Artisul. So this one is a Artisul D16. It's a 15.6 inch pen tablet display. Works on Mac and Windows. It's full HD 1920 by 1080. It has 7 customizable fast keys. It has a customizable quick dial. Weighs 1.55 kilos. The pressure sensitivity is 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity using the battery-free Monet pen. The Adobe RGB gamut is 94%, and comes with a pen bag with plenty of extra rubber eyes and hard nibs. You get a freestyle stand that comes included with this, and it also has fitted already a anti-glare screen protector as well. Works with things like Photoshop, Corel Paint, Artisul, Sketchbook, Maya, ZBrush, Paint Tool Side, Clip Studio Paint, and all the other software that supports things like pressure sensitivity and drawing. So that is the Artisul D16. I have reviewed before the D10 and D13, which I love the Artisul products. The Artisul products are very well built, very slimline. They're great because they work with without any external power, as long as you've got a USB 3 port. And they are just a pretty good alright pen. So I'm hoping for good things from this. So we'll get into testing it with various different bits of software and the usual tests, so we know how it performs properly, real world situation, and we'll get down to business with this and see how it does. See you in a bit. Right, so I've connected the DVI into the back of my computer via the USB, the HDMI cable. So you've got this mini HDMI to full-size HDMI at the back. I've put the full-size HDMI into a DVI adapter, and this one just slots into the just goes into the HDMI port, and then this one here, which has the locking section and the USB side, which just goes into there. That should boot up nicely. And then you've got the pen holder here, just slots into there. I do have a dual monitor set up here as well, so I've got one higher up. You can just have a look at that. So I've got another monitor up here and this one down here, so it works well with a dual monitor setting. And this is all set up with the driver install, which I just downloaded from the Artisul website. I'm going to have to try and get a decent angle on this so we don't get any reflection. At the moment there's a bit of reflection on there, but that was just basic how to connect. So it's just your mini HDMI to full-size HDMI, which you may need to convert depending on what you have on the back of your computer, and this one here, which is just a USB, which gives you power to the unit. So this is being powered now just from power from the computer through the USB 3 port, which is great. You don't have to plug it into an outlet or anything like that. It can just be powered from your actual computer. So if you're out and about with a laptop, this is an ideal tablet because you don't need any external power. So try and get a better angle on this so we can do a bit of drawing on it and you can see how it works, and we'll have a look at things like the drivers and different bits of software. Back soon. Okay, so we're all set up. Got my pen, got my pen attachment here, so I can just slot that in there if I need to. Keep it nice and safe. I mean, I do have a pen holder as well. Quite a funky little pen holder. It's my funky pen holder. Wow. Alien. Anyway, back to it. This is all set up. I've even got my little trusty Logitech webcam set up there as well. What we'll do first is we'll just go into the driver, because I think a lot of people like to know how the drivers perform as well. So just click yes there to OK for it to run. And here we've got the main driver. If you press dashboard at the top, that brings up this section, so you can basically click on home, which will take you to the Artisul website, or you can click help desk, which will take you directly to the support center for Artisul. Nice little touch there. Driver update, I won't click on that because it will ask for updating drivers, but my drivers are up to date. But you can click on that and it will update your drivers, and you can change your languages in there as well. Going to quick overview. This just tells you it's the Artisul D16 running using the Monet pen and the version of the driver device that you're using. And then we've got the fast access keys down the side here, and we have 7 in total. And what we can do is we can adjust these and change any of these just by clicking on them. And we've got an option for different pieces of software here, and what we can set these to when that particular piece of software is running. So if we just go to Photoshop there, we've got all these different options for zoom in, zoom out, paste, copy, everything you need there. I mean, to be honest, I think this works quite well out of the box for most software. It has the bits that I need. It has the zoom in, zoom out. It has the increased pressure sensitivity. It has the increased brush size. All set up on these already, and I've really not had to change anything on here when I first got this unit. So that's these that you can carry in the scroll dial as well, which is this little center wheel here. You can press the middle button on here to change it from things like brush size to zoom in, zoom out, that kind of thing. And you can change all those as well depending on the software that you're using. And then we go down to pen. Pen settings. We can set up the pen button settings like the mouse, so right click, middle click, and we can switch those around if we need to. We can adjust the double speed click like you would do with the mouse, and we can adjust the pressure sensitivity of the pen itself by shifting it up and down between light and heavy, and that's all going to be dependent on your use really. We can change it from left-handed to right-handed, and we can click it. It supports digital ink or not support digital ink. That's totally up to your own preferences. Then we go to calibration. So we've got a preset calibration option up here if you've saved a calibration, or you can just go down to the bottom down here and just go to calibrate the pen, and all you do there is it gives you these little dots, crosshairs to click on. We do this and click OK, and that's all set. You can save that if you want as a profile, or you can just have that set up and it's done. Monitor mapping. I mean, I'm using a dual monitor, so I've got 2 monitors set up. I've got a monitor above me and the D16, and this pretty much found them straight away. I mean, I went into my video settings and just made sure that because I've got one above and one below, I set it up like that, so that my mouse was going, when it went off the top of the page, it was going into my monitor above. But that's all was very easy to set up. And then you've got a support option down here, which you can click on to get warranty information, user manuals, and get some global support or just North American support if you need it. So all in all, a very nice driver layout. So let's delve into some software here. So the first one I'm going to look at here is Mischeif. And this is the one that I use a lot for illustrating. I do book illustrations, and it's the one I use a lot. So we'll just go up here and select sketch in colour, come down to our pencil tool here, and just make sure this is all working. As you can see, it is. I always like to do a few little scribbles first just to see how, and make sure it's performing okay, which it seems to be performing perfectly fine there, so we'll clear that. And I'm sorry if my hand gets in the way of this, but I'll try and keep it as clear as possible. I'll just do a bit of sketching here. So as you can see, it's pretty accurate. So just for roughing out some shapes. Here and there. So as you can see, this is a very nice, accurate tablet. I mean, it always looks like the actual cursor is spot on the end of the pen when you've calibrated. So even up in the top corners, up high up here, it stays very, very close. There's a slight bit of lag, but nothing detrimental, nothing that you'd notice while you're actually drawing. But it's a very accurate, even right to the edges. Even going right to the edge there, it's a very accurate. Go back in here again. It's a very, very, very accurate pen there. So we take it right out. And it follows very nicely and very fluidly. And like I say, it does even drawing fast there, you notice very, very little lag with it at all. Now the only thing I've noticed, and it's been doing this, it could be a Mischeif problem this rather than a tablet problem, that every now and again I get these issues where all of a sudden it'll shoot down here, it'll do a little mark. I mean, you can very easily undo it and then just go back to drawing again, and it then doesn't really cause any issue. And that, I think, is a Mischeif problem rather than a tablet problem, because it was doing it on my Wacom originally as well. So really good for just getting the rough sketches in there. Very nice. And then obviously when you come down to changing over to say inking, so the brush size is a bit too big there, so we'll just undo that. And what we should be able to do is tap the center button over here. It'll say increase brush size down there, and like you said, we can just use the dial just to slide down that brush size, and then we can change it to black. We've got a really nice inking there as well. So that's what it's done there. It's done this little line down here that's shot down here, and it just does it every so often. And like I say, you can just undo that, there's no problem. And usually going back into your brush, try that again, makes that go away. And like I say, I do think that is a Mischeif problem rather than a actual tablet problem. This just gives you an idea very quick. I don't spend a long time just drawing lots of stuff on here. I just want to give you an idea of how well this actual unit performs. This is a very quick drawing. I'd normally spend a lot more time perfecting this. I go usually from a couple of stages from rough into like another rough version, but a cleaner rough version. Whereas this is very. Does it again? On the back outlet, so there's a little bit of an issue there, obviously with the software, but as you can see, it draws really nicely in there as well. What I'll do is I'll just get rid of this, and one thing I always do like to test is how it draws a straight line against a ruler. Now there's a lot of tablets that are very iffy drawing them, but if you can see this, I'll try and keep as a little bit of a shift on the stand there, but I'll just try that again and again and again, and that draws a pretty decent straight line. We've got a few little wobbles there, but I mean, to be honest, you don't want an absolutely accurate straight line if you're drawing. It wants to look a bit hand-drawn anyway, but compared to other tablets I've used, that is a really good straight line. And then we go into things like so just cross hatching. Just looks very, very ink-like, very fast, hardly any delay on there at all. So that's running Mischeif. Let's have a look at something a bit more popular, which would be, say, Photoshop. Photoshop is one that's used by a lot of graphic artists, so we'll just go into a new document here. Hopefully. So here we go in Photoshop. Like you see again, it's very smooth. On a lot of other tablets I've used previously, these have been very wobbly lines. Let's set up okay for pressure sensitivity on there. Like I said, we can again increase our brush size. You see it increasing there. Get something a little bit bigger. And you see you're getting this taper off at the end. Nice kind of like inking, tapering off there. I'll just get rid of that. Again, we'll set this up to I always like to sketch in blue. Do a very fast, quick sketch here, and this is where it just really shows that it's behaving nicely, because you can just really sketch really fast with this and get some nice accurate results. So just for laying down a nice sketch to work on is just very, very nice indeed. It just works really, really quick, really fluid, no delay. Nice little zombie character there. And obviously once you've got that all set down, just create a new layer, and then you can sketch on top of that, refining it, you know, in the inking layer. So if we go back into here, go back into black, we'll take our original layer opacity down so we don't see it as well. Don't see it as much there. Create a new layer as well, which will so it's just basically a really nice drawing tool. I mean, when you compare it to the more expensive, you just think to yourself, well, is a Wacom worth 3 times as much as this? You know, to get something of this kind of quality. And to be honest, it's not. Don't get me wrong, I do love the Wacom products. I think they're very well made, but I do think they are overpriced as well. So we can, like I say, go into here, and then we can start to ink in. It's just very, very fluid on the inking. It just this is a little bit of a finish to it, a bit of a slight matte finish to it. It is quite slippy. It doesn't feel like necessarily drawing on paper, but it still is quite a nice it's quite a nice actual feel of the drawing. I think it would actually feel even better trying one of the felt nibs on as well. But that gives you an idea of how you can ink on this as well, and draw on it very easily. We'll test it with, look and see if we can test it with another piece of software as well. So like I use the hand tool for the space bar there, I can actually find the hand tool up here as well, already set up, so that will actually move around your page as well. And you've got down here Shift, Control, have all been set up, Alt, Eraser, Undo, Redo, that kind of thing. Brush size again on here, and this is Paint Tool Psi. Here rather than eraser. It's a big brush. So we'll drop the brush size down on here using the wheel again. And again, I'll just do a quick cartoony sketch here for you. Oh, looking sad. It's sad, man.
Hey buddy, why are you so sad? So it is extremely fluid for the sketching. I'm sad because I've got hairs growing out of my ears, look. But it's just something. It's a very good tool. These Monty tablets are very good for getting ideas down. I do children's books, that kind of thing, and I find these really good for sketching and getting ideas, character ideas down, and designing characters. So it's a good way to really show, to really experiment, sorry, with character design as well. I mean, there's friends of mine who are digital painters and use these kind of tablets for full-scale digital paintings and matte paintings, and the stuff they produce is phenomenal. My kind of like genre is cartoon work, that kind of thing, and illustration work. But this really shows how well this performs. Like I say, ruling again. It's so accurate. Such a really nice tablet to draw on. And if we look at something a bit more, say, technical, I have ZBrush on here as well, which is probably something that not a lot of viewers out there will use that much, but it will go to show how well ZBrush can play with this tablet. So if we bring, say, this in, and then we'll just zoom in on this. As you can see, we can and you can adjust the pressure sensitivity up here and everything for this, and it just really get the best out. Just to show that it does work well with ZBrush. So again, you know, another piece of software that it works well with, and really I could go through dozens of pieces of software, and on each one it pretty much works flawlessly. I think with any software you get glitches and things need to be sorted out within the software itself. This is Manga Studio. And this one's a happy chappy. So it just gives you an idea that works as well, and works quick and fluidly, which is what you need for you working on these kind of tablets. and we'll give Sketchbook a try. This is the one that does crash out when you turn in to change brushes, but we'll give it a whirl if it starts. There we go. So the same again here. Another happy guy. That's just a very quick demonstration. Like I say, you can increase your brush sizes again on this with the that's the that's one of the pressure sensitive brushes that we have there. Some of these brushes need a bit of tweaking within Sketchbook, but again, it's a very fluid drawing app is Sketchbook, one that I use quite a bit, just to share about the crashing within the program at the moment, but like I say, hopefully they'll sort that out. And in the end, that's basically it. It's a very nice, very nicely built tablet. There is the only thing I've not mentioned is the parallax side, but because I'm viewing it straight on, it doesn't feel like there's much parallax there. Parallax is the distance between the actual screen and the tip of your pen because of the glass screen, and it doesn't. It's very small. It's if you're working over the top of it, you don't notice it. It just does feel like the tip of the pen is actually where it should be, and like I said, because you've got calibration there, you can calibrate that to whatever you like. But yeah, it's a very nicely built, thought out tablet, very well thought out drivers, and highly recommended. It's available on Amazon, are available in they've got a US shop as well. If you want in Europe, I think it'd have to come either through Amazon or via Germany. Mine came via Germany, but they do make very nice products to Artisul. Very nice tablets. I think they're the best tablets out there before you get to Wacom, personally. As you can see there, they've got an Artisul D22 coming out as well, so it's going to be basically based around, hopefully, the architecture of the D16. Just going to use a bigger screen. It's still going to have the express keys as well down the side, so it would be nice to compare these in the future and see what the D22 feels like in comparison to the D16. So thank you for watching my in-depth review of the Artisul D16. Like I said before, I've tested the D10, D13, now the D16. All their tablets, including this one, are just phenomenal tablets, extremely well built. They are very easy to install. Plus points is I love the fact that this will run powered by a USB 3 port. You don't have to plug it into any outlet if you've got that USB 3 port on either a laptop or your tower unit. I love the battery-free stylus. I love that it comes with loads of nibs. I love that it comes with a stand already included. The quality of the screen, it's a very nice screen on it as well, very clear, very crisp. Obviously I've done drawings on it, it's very clear, and also I've even played movies through it as well, because for me it's an external monitor as well, a second monitor, and it just works really nicely.
to be honest, there's no negative points I can say about this tablet at all. It just runs so well, like I say, easy to install, runs our software nicely, so I would give it a full 5 out of 5 stars, because I can't genuinely give it any lower marks, because it just does run really well, and for the price point that these are at, I just think it's a great tablet monitor. So thank you to Artisul for supplying me with this to review again. You supplied me with the D10, the D13 and now the D16. Very, very appreciative of you letting me review this, and I'd recommend this to anybody who's looking for a Wacom alternative, somebody who would like something like a Wacom but can't afford it. This is probably your next best thing to have a look at if that's what you're looking at, what you're after. If you have any questions at all about using these models, either this model, the D16, the D13 or D10, please give me a shout in the messages below. Please also subscribe to me as well, that would be great, and I look forward to talking to you next time on the next review that I do, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.